Captain's Log, Stardate 201609.16. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Captain Foley from Trekyards, and I'm here today to talk about your questions, concerns, comments, everything that you mentioned on my last Captain's Log. I address all your questions and everything in each Captain's Log as a way of interacting with you, our fans. So one of the first things I want to talk about today, as you can probably tell by the thumbnail, is Discovery. Now, 2 days ago we learned that Discovery was actually being pushed back from a January or February release to May, which doesn't surprise me. I kind of expected something like that to happen. I'm kind of dismayed that it happened, but that being said, when Samuel and myself were on our Mission America tour in June, a few months ago, I had the opportunity to speak with, of course, John Eves and Doug Drexler and Rick Sternbach. And I was like, are they going to have it ready for January? Because it seemed like very short notice and timing to get that out. They said, yeah, as long as the production team has like 2 or 3 months, they will be able to do that, no problem. So I wasn't too concerned. At the same time, kind of in the back of my head that, yeah, this was going to be a problem. It's not a huge problem, mind you. It's just an irritant a little bit. My birthday's in May 28th. So the fact that it's being released in May is great. It's Star Trek's way of giving me a birthday present, maybe. I don't know. So they're taking their time with it, and that's what I like about this team that's been developed. John Fuller and Nicholas Meyer and all those Rod Roddenberry, all those great guys. They kind of want to do something for the fans, I think, with this new series. That's kind of the vibe we've been getting, and I'm happy with the fact that it's kind of been delayed. It's irritating. It really is. You want to see Star Trek. We want to see it. We want to see more Star Trek on our TV screens. And but if I want them to do it right, so I know they're starting to begin filming in November in Toronto, which is an hour and a half for me, which is awesome. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to head down there and see what's going on behind the scenes. Who knows what's going on with that? But that'd be fantastic. So there is that aspect of it. So apparently the writing's really good. There's some really intriguing writing for this, and like they've said, it is going to be serialized. So it is going to be much like Game of Thrones, where it's not basically episodic. There will be like an ongoing story arc, much like Stranger Things on Netflix. It's basically one long film or a book, chapter. So that in itself is a double-edged sword in a way. It's nice to get that ongoing story arc, but in a way I'm going to kind of miss episodic Star Trek. I'm sure they'll have episodic elements to each one to kind of tie up one little minor story or whatever in each hour-long slot. So also the price of CBS All Access was originally $5.99, but there's also a $9.99 option for commercial free, because apparently there's going to be 12 commercial breaks during Discovery on the regular CBS All Access, which is kind of annoying because it is a paid service, but I understand why they're doing that as well. There's reasons that they do all this stuff, and we might not like it, we might not agree with it at first, but it's something that we have to take into consideration and not get too uppity about. They're trying to give us something new, and I'm all for that. So, if they need to take a little bit of time and do that, that's fine with me. As for the ship, kind of teach you guys with the thumbnail here for this one. Sam did a great job with that. But I want you guys to know that the ship is undergoing some development changes. I've seen it, and it's interesting. It's changed quite a bit from when we first saw it, which is kind of a shame. I rather like the original Discovery. I know a lot of people didn't, and I think that's what I mean by this. They're really trying to do what's good for the fans. I think they're listening to fan input and reading fan comments and trying to work out things to make it more to our liking. So please give them some slack. Don't be too upset about it that's been pushed back. I think it's a relatively good thing. It is an annoyance, it really is, but what are you going to do? Other than that, we'll just get straight into the questions and stuff from the last Captain's Log and get this show on the road, as it were. The last one is over an hour and 2 minutes long, and I apologize for that because it had a lot of the making of the comm badge in there. I have not had a chance to go back and finish the comm badges. They still need the black paint and the clear coat and stuff. But stay tuned, that will be coming up in the next week or so. And today I changed it up. I'm up here in front of my 60-inch TV. I don't know if you guys have seen the LCARs on the big screen yet. I don't think I've done a Captain's Log in front of the TV here. So this will be a new thing, and occasionally this will happen, so you can see this, and I might have some visuals to show you and stuff during some captain's logs. That might be the way to go. So we'll see. I'm going to try to change it up and make the show a little bit more interesting in the future. So hopefully you guys will appreciate that and enjoy that. And before anybody asks, all of these LCARs are either screensavers or flash animations or videos on YouTube that have just been put into like a playlist of sorts. So I know somebody's going to ask inevitably where I get my LCARs displays and stuff. There's lcars.org, .uk or .uk.org. I forget. It's a site that has a lot of great flash animations. So you can go there to check out those as well. So there you have it, guys. But let's get right into the questions and comments. Captain Foley, you are missing, this is from Chris Cheshire. Captain Foley, you are missing one Star Trek collectible. You need Star Trek sideburns, as long as you show your profile. I disagree. Much like today, I think fashion and hair fashion in the future will be to the person's own personal likes and dislikes. I don't think I necessarily would have had mutton chops in Victorian England. I don't think that's my style, and not everyone did have it. Captain Kirk, of course, did. This was a great transition. Thank you, Screensaver, for coming on Captain Kirk. He, of course, has them here, which is fantastic. And actually, this is one of my complaints. When we were on, at the end of our Mission America tour, when we were in Ticonderoga, New York, on the Phase 2 sets, the costume guy was saying, well, Samuel, we need to change your hair if you're going to go in costume and on the bridge kind of thing. And said the same thing to me. I'm like, no, this is the hairstyle I would have in the future. This is a futuristic Captain Kirk style hairstyle. It's just my hairstyle. I would not, I'm sure there are certain Starfleet regulations for hair, but really, guys, I really don't like that whole, you have to have this certain hairstyle to be in a fan film or in the future or be on TOS bridge. I think that's crap, personally. A hairstyle is a hairstyle. Even my attire, I've always said, I always wear my tactical sweater that I got from Think Geek. That's kind of my Trekyards uniform, as it were, because I know there are regulations in the military and in Starfleet, and you would have to wear the uniform, but I want to wear like a tactical kind of thing like that or whatever. Anyway, I think it's all nitpickiness, but I don't think I could even grow sideburns if I wanted to, because I can barely grow this. And this, when I try to grow this out, it's all patchy, and I don't think I could grow sideburns. So I couldn't even live in the future. I would be kicked out because I couldn't grow sideburns. Next is Monte Doran. I love the Enterprise schematics backdrop. How do you do that, and do you need a specific software to get it? Just answered your question, so there. Gatling Turtle asked my question for me. Same thing. And I have different playlists. This is the LCARS animations playlist that has LCARS from all eras, everything. There's also a TOS specific one, a JJ specific one, Next Generation, the movie era. So I can put on kind of what I want. And if you watch in the background of our Trekyards episodes, there's generally LCARS playing on the little monitor behind me as well. So Ross Ballmer, squee! Thanks for reading out my comment, even if you didn't understand it. Sorry. I actually find the Discovery is a grower. Despite always hating the old Macquarie designs and being relieved that they ditched it in favor of Andrew Probert's Art Deco beauty, it's not a pretty ship to be sure. But the attention they paid to the Trek lore to come up with it makes me feel like the show is in good hands. I agree 1,000%. They are just concept sketches. They do get added to and changed before they actually get filmed or made into a model. So yes, I totally agree with that. Mark Bernero, sorry, Mark Bernero. If they were to use a rejected ship design, it would have been much better that they used the one with the spherical hull from TOS and making a newer, larger version of the Daedalus class. It'd be cool. I think we might see some Daedalus class in the background of this new show. I think that'd be great. Doug Drexler tried to do that with the NX-01. He actually had a Daedalus style ship for the first Enterprise kind of thing. But that was rejected. The producers and stuff want something that's recognizable to Star Trek fans and non-Star Trek fans alike. That's the saucer and nacelle configuration. So unfortunately, you have to deal with the producers and their likes and what they think will appeal to a new market and to the older market as well. And I think Daedalus class ships are something that would likely be seen in Discovery, but not as the hero ship, of course. The Troublemakers. Oh, at the Troublemakers. Oh, well, this is just replies to that whole thing. Sorry. I'm not going to get into all the replies. There was a kind of a back and forth there. This is from Johnny's XE Blues. Love the look and design of those comm badges. As a relatively new viewer, subscriber, I was hoping there would be an opportunity to snag one in the future, having missed out on getting one as a perk. I commend and respect that you dedicated so much of your time to get them done. Personally, it's that same level of dedication that you guys put into your video content that brought me on board. Keep up the great work, guys, and as always, and as soon as those badges are for sale, I'm going to get me one. Well, stay tuned, because they will be eventually. We also have other campaigns and stuff coming up in the future, which they'll probably be included as perks for. So there's another way to get them as well. Plus, you get other bonus goodies usually when you get a perk for one of the Indiegogo campaigns. So definitely stay tuned for that, because they are something that we do want to get out there. A lot of people have seen them, liked them, and want to see more of them. So yes, that's something that will definitely be available for purchase in the future. Rob Morgan says, worked for Tim's for 2 years, not a fan, no coffee refills. In the last Captain's Log, of course, I went to Tim Hortons in the morning to get coffee, and yeah, so Tim's is good and bad. I mean, it's a Canadian staple. I have Tim's coffee almost every morning. I think they put something in it, like heroin or crack, because you get addicted to the stuff. I don't know what they do to it, but so yeah, then they have some great breakfast sandwiches and stuff as well. Some of their seasonal stuff they need to keep around more often, like the maple. They got rid of the maple. I can't get a maple shot in my coffee anymore, because now it's pumpkin or some stupid seasonal stuff. Anyway, annoying. Dorian McLeod, Foley. Ardent is pronounced like aren't. So aren't. There we go. Mark Bernero, I totally agree with your views on the Xindi War. Well, thank you, Mark. I just restarted watching Enterprise, actually. But I've mentioned that a few times now. So I'm going to try to enjoy it more this time. I mean, Samuel's got a real appreciation for it, and I appreciate that he has appreciation for it. So hopefully I can learn to like it, or tolerate it at least. Earn Mac, I got the $20 silver coin. It is really nice. And he's talking about, of course, the $20 Star Trek silver coin from the Canadian Mint. Go to mint.ca if you want to check out all those Star Trek monies that they have. We got some great stuff and some great collectibles for you guys. So, Mark Bozert, the Stardate you mentioned in your video was 1 year off, 2015. Oh, and you still had a sonic screwdriver. Just saying. Maybe that was planned. Probably not. I just screwed up the Stardate. Regarding my cutoff comment about similar themed episodes throughout Trek and other sci-fi series, you remember the one. Yes, I do. I just want to say that it might be an interesting idea for a Trekyards episode, a comparison between copycat episodes. There are so many of them. That would probably be an idea for one of our podcasts, just kind of a discussion about that kind of thing. Absolutely. Someone mentioned the L cars taking up too much screen space, and one cannot read the illustrations. I can see their point, but maybe you could just put a link to the illustrations into this video description if applicable. That would be impossible. Those are on my computer. They are sent to Samuel, usually via Dropbox, and we're not going to link to every picture in every video. That would just be an insane amount of work, and we can't. We don't have the time to do that. That's just ridiculous. Good idea, good suggestion. It's been thought of before. We've considered that, but it's just insane the amount of work that would require. If there's a video that we use that somebody created, we usually give them credit and put a link description below, or like in the description, or a link to their site or something like that. If it's a specific artist that wants their work acknowledged, we're happy to do that, absolutely, but we're not going to link to every image. So Enterprise H says, currently my bets are on Discovery being a Kol Ut-Shan class and a possible precursor to FAS's Ariel class. Regarding the Gorn, sadly the Federation had never met them until Arena, which brings me to my next question. The Chodak Empire, the Interstellar Concordium, the Shakuran Ducaltes, and the Tarhe Unity in your headcanon, who lurk beyond the Klingon and Romulan Star Empire? Well, those seem like minor races to me. Like I said, I'm a Starfleet Battles guy. So you've got the Tholians that cause the Klingons a lot of problems. You've got the Lyrans, the Kzinti, the Hydrons, the Interstellar Concordium, the Andromedans, the Orion Pirates. Those are the main factions in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. I mean, I'm sure there are other ones, and especially in non-Starfleet Battles kind of universes, that's absolutely a thing. But I don't know. I see the big ones as those ones, and including the Gorn as well. Gorn, Stolians, things like that. So, and I actually know the name. Ironically enough, I know the name of the new Discovery ship class. It's not Discovery class, but I can't tell you guys, obviously. So it's something I got to keep under wraps, which is a pain. Well, I know of what it might be. I don't know if it's changed since I first discussed it with the person, but you know, things always change, so who knows? I could be wrong. I'll have to tell you guys after it comes out and after I'm allowed to say that kind of stuff. So Enterprise H says, the thing which personally bothered me about Enterprise was the one thing you will never cover on Trekyards because it simply does not exist. An original design for a Tellarite ship. Instead, they had to share with the Xindi Arboreals and aliens of the week. I'd like to have seen elements from the Constitution class reverse design into the ships of the Federation founding members, especially considering the Tellarites are supposed to be engineers. Well, we know that the Tellarites provided shield systems, sensors, things like that. The Andorians provided weapons systems, enhanced phasers, photon torpedo enhancements, things like that. Each race has their own specific field that contributed to the Federation ship design. But yeah, it would be cool to see an original Tellarite ship at some point. Captain Lokioa says, maybe the Tellarite edition was the shield technology. Andorians provided the weapons, Vulcans did provide the warp tech, so it would be safe to assume the Tellarites had shielding tech, but you don't have to take my word for it. No, but you can take mine. Saquist says, sorry Stuart, but Enterprise doesn't fit into Trek canon. I know, I didn't say it did. I've always said it doesn't fit into Trek canon. The Enterprise was a Starfleet ship that existed 124 years before the 1701. That's too few ships a year for Starfleet. With the new Discovery set before Enterprise NCC 1031, it gives up 63 ships a year, and that places the Starfleet's beginning at 15 years before the Constitution class. No, registry numbers do not dictate the order of ships that were created. We've already talked about this. Registry numbers have many different meanings. That's going to be an episode on Trekyards for sure. We know that the Constitution class ships had messed up registries. We know why. It was because they really didn't consider. They thought this would be a throwaway show kind of thing, and that fans this many years later wouldn't be thinking about that kind of thing. But there are explanations for it. We've gone into that in previous captain's logs and whatnot, and I'm sure we'll have an episode on it on Trekyards at some point because it's definitely interesting and worth checking out, and kind of dispelling some of those rumors. Mike Okuda tried to correct the issue when it came to Next Generation and Voyager and stuff, which makes sense, but no, it does not dictate the number of ships that have been built. That is totally erroneous, and just forget it. Put it out of your mind. It indicates different ship classes, like the Saladin class. The scout ships have three numbers. The 1701, the 17 series for Constitution class is the 17th construction contract for a heavy cruiser design or whatever. There's always different explanations for things, and 1071 or 1017 for the Constellation in the Doomsday Machine, that's obviously a lot lower than 1700, which is the Constitution, which is Constitution class, right? So it's because it's probably honoring an older ship, put on a newer ship of a different design. It's just, the registry numbers are so, there's so much explanations that you can give to them that it does not dictate when they were made. So that point really irritates me. No offense to you, Sackwest, but I know you're an expert on the whole registry number thing, but I totally disagree with you. 1,028%. Calm down a bit there. All right. The commentator was correct, and NX01 should have been the Dauntless, but Rick Berman just used the registry because he liked it, not because there was a link, as he usually does. Well, the NX01A, or for the Dauntless, was out before Enterprise was a thing, so... NX is merely a prototype designation. Yes, X stands for experimental. The pre-Federation history doesn't work because all individuals were Starfleet, and when they referred to all the ships named Enterprise on the recreation deck in NX, the NX-01 was of course not there because it simply never existed. The temporal agents interviewing Cisco referred to 6 ships as a correction because of the new Sovereign class came out during Deep Space Nine. I know. Exactly. I totally 1,000% agree with you that there is not an NX-01 and that his Enterprise does not fit into the timeline. Although it does, because it's canon, so you have to justify it somehow, and I say it's an alternate timeline. So that's where we stand with that. It's an argument that I make so often, and I hear so often that it just kind of gets frustrating, and I apologize. But that's where we sit. All right, so where'd we go here? We kind of lost. There we go. And then there's a bit of a discussion, replies to that as well, but I'm not going to get into all that because I want to get past the registry numbers. All right. Olias AS. 9th viewer. Hello from Norway. Hello from Canada to Norway. Live long and prosper, Norway. Chris Cheshire. Captain, give me your opinion on Elcar's UI, if you have it. I think it's great, and it keeps getting better. Elcars are fantastic. I'm an Elcars junkie, which is pretty evident. I love TOS. I love the movies. The movie era is my favorite. So yeah, I think it's great. It does keep getting better. But I think the movie era, this stuff right here is where it's at. The blues, the greens, they look really nice on the black surfaces. So that's my favorite, and TOS is right there behind it. And I think there's ways to update the TOS one instead of just flashing lights. And they've done it at Ticonderoga. There's flashing lights, but they also slide into place, and there's different displays now and newer things up top. And I think it's a fantastic take on TOS, and it should have been like that from the beginning, but they didn't have the budget or the vision, I guess, the knowledge of Elcars that we have now to tie it in. So, Mark Afonso, maybe it is spelled Enterprise with a Z, not Canadian, just a tribute. If pre-Federation Enterprises were actually spelled Enterprise with a Z, like the HMS Enterprise, then the 1701D would be the 5th ship to bear the name Enterprise with an S. Always explanation for things. I think it's just basically the Enterprise D was the 5th Enterprise to bear the NCC 1701 registry number instead of NX or anything before that. So, Ellie Arndt, you got the name right, Cap. You can call me Ellie. Eli, I think, oh shit, I screwed it up again. I don't know. I gotta go back and check. Sorry. Comm badges are looking super good. I recently designed a ship patch for my TOS game, and I may just have to look into getting TNG comm badges made. Hey Cap, regarding the new Defiant on Deep Space Nine remaining and NX, my headcanon has always figured that due to the Dominion War and all its political ramifications, the choice to keep the NX was on purpose. Assigning a test bed, NX, to Deep Space Nine was a way to increase both offensiveness and defensive capabilities without attracting more attention to the politically sensitive issue. This would be a way to prevent it from getting reassigned during the war, since it was a test bed and could be viewed as an extension of Deep Space Nine's research and development team, rather than fleet assets and be redeployed. Deep Space Nine got the firepower of one of the most advanced ships in the fleet, while it stayed off of the fleet assessment reports of some bureaucrat on Earth. This perhaps also allowed it to be more lenient when it came to safety and best practices protocols, something that could be extremely helpful during the war. Thanks for all the awesome work you guys do. Until next time, live long and prosper. That's from Corey Wallace. Thank you, Corey. I totally 1,000% agree with you. That's my thing now. I either 1,000% agree with somebody or 1,000% disagree. Yes, I like that a lot. My question is, did the Sao Paulo or the new Defiant have a cloaking device? Was that something the Romulans allowed yet again for them to use? Probably, but I don't think we ever saw that. We just finished Deep Space Nine, and I don't think, since they got the Sao Paulo, that they used the cloaking device. So, does anybody know? I don't know. Todd Mallet. Those are sweet. I'm new to your show, and I love it. You guys are great. What do I need to do to get one? Stay tuned, and you'll definitely be able to get a comm badge at some point, like I said. So, Reaper of the Wayward Souls. Since you have said that you have been in contact with the designer of the USS Discovery, do you know if other time frame appropriate Federation ships are being designed to appear on the show? I know other ships are being designed. I don't know if they're going to be time area appropriate. I assume they will be. I assume that, like I said, we're going to see Daedalus class ships, things like that, little nods in the background and things like that to refer to the pre-TOS kind of era. So, fingers crossed. Analysis of Sci-Fi says, wow, nice stamps. Well, thank you. Ryan Armstrong, such damn snake oil salesman. Give me money for the sake of Trek. That's probably an insult. You don't have to give me money. I don't really care if you give me money or not, Ryan. And if you don't want to comment or say something nice, please feel free to not comment. That's fine. Somebody also said that I needed to watch the road and not the camera when I was in the car. Well, the camera's right on my dashboard. I could see the road perfectly when I had the camera on. And yeah, I didn't have both hands on the wheel for a minute there, but I had my knee. It was fine. It was a straight road. Don't worry. I'm an expert driver. There's nobody around. It wasn't raining. That comment didn't need to be here. I deleted it. I'm not going to do something unsafe and put it on YouTube. Anyway, the kit base says, really love the badge design, mate. Must get one myself one of these days, as you will be able to in the future. Justin White, I spy a sonic screwdriver in the background. No, you didn't. James Oldfield, nice to see you making the comm badges. Some you appreciate your Trekyards community. Shows you appreciate your Trekyards community as much as we appreciate you and the commander. Remember, you're not getting older, just more experience. Cheers for your answers. Well, thank you, James. Chris Cheshire says again, no Star Trek Discovery until May 2017. Already been covered, James. I mean, Chris. Why did I say James? Mustafa Muhammad says, the only thing that really bothers me on the JJ Prize is its size. Yeah, it's one of the big things that bothers me as well. Big. Get it? Big things. Anyway. This is Rewatching Enterprise. He is rewatching Enterprise now because Netflix Canada just got it. Exactly. They only had TNG for the longest time. Now they've got all the series, so I'm rewatching all of them piecemeal. But Deep Space Nine I watched all the way through. Enterprise I've started to watch all the way through now. But occasionally I'll throw on a TOS episode or an animated episode or something in the meantime. Voyagers are still on TV, so I usually put that on cooking supper because I don't have to worry about, I could just ignore the commercials or get up during the commercials. Or I've seen Voyager 50 million times, so who cares? Xantron 9000 says, Captain Foley, where can I get one of the Star Trek comm badges? I missed the crowdfunding and searched Trekyards on Indiegogo, but no luck. Like to get a few from my friends, and since I saw the occasion, and since we occasionally play the Artemis Bridge Sim game, discovered Trekyards a couple of weeks ago. Been binging since. Well, thank you for your viewership. Hopefully you're enjoying it. There's lots to binge on, and don't worry, the comm badges will be available. James Dietz, you should have had the Trekyards logo molded onto the back of those comm badges. Also, is there an official ship of Trekyards? Maybe eventually we can. I can actually probably get Dave to put that thing on the back of the comm badges. Who knows? Is there an official ship of Trekyards? Maybe there's one in development. Who knows? Mark Alfonso. Well, besides the Foley class, we've already designed the Foley class. Cal Schnatz Jr. and myself worked together on the Foley class, which is a great ship. It's a dreadnought, experimental dreadnought design. It's called the Foley class because Captain Foley in Star Trek universe realm helped develop it. Long development history. We're going to do an episode on it in the future, so you'll get all of that inside scoop. So, yes, and there's maybe other ones, I don't know, that we're working on. Mark Alfonso. Do you plan to explain the Foley class you designed and how it differs from the Federation class? Yes, absolutely. I didn't even read that comment before I said that. So, yes, there will be an episode on it. Absolutely. The troublemakers. Come on, man. I thought you drank Roctaginos, not coffee. Roctagino, double strong, double sweet? Maybe. Sorry. I was just out of Roctagino at the time. And the local Tim Hortons doesn't sell it, so. Hiya. Could you tell me why the Maquis wear different rank pins to Starfleet officers? Because they're not Starfleet officers. It's the same reason that Kira doesn't wear a Starfleet uniform, or why O'Brien has a different rank thing on his, because he's an enlisted man. He's not. I don't understand the whole military thing around that, but yeah, it's different. So the Maquis might have had Starfleet training, but they dropped out of Starfleet to join the Maquis, so they're technically not Starfleet officers, so they have different rank pins to indicate that at first glance. Captain Okiowa, they are all a part of the crew and they wear Starfleet uniforms, so why a different rank pin? Just to the same uniform is to show solidarity, and it is a Federation ship that they're serving on, but yeah, the rank pin just explains that they aren't necessarily Starfleet crew members. Captain Okiowa says, because they were given the rank by Janeway, since Voyager and the former Maquis members were stranded in the Delta Quadrant, and since they were stuck with Voyager, both Janeway and Chakotay decided to make it a Starfleet ship during their voyage home. The ranks the former crew members received were field commission ranks. Well, there you go. Captain Okiowa also says, they must have completed Starfleet training to be given the pips. They did not finish their training except Tom Paris, who did, but then left to support the Maquis, though Chakotay did not graduate, though Chakotay did graduate, he for some reason didn't get commander's pips. Odd. I think it was probably his own choice to kind of show his disdain for the way Starfleet didn't want to help the Maquis. My personal opinion, I don't know. Jess Hull. The breakfast sounds good. It was good. It was very good. Saphiro Space Pirate says, I'll bet the things they changed you like was the nacelles. He's of course speaking of the USS Discovery. Actually, the nacelles have been changed, and I'm not the hugest fan of them. I kind of preferred the one we first saw, and I think the bigger ones with the three, unique bizarre collectors at the front really spoke to an earlier pre-TOS time. The way they are now, they're kind of too. Well, I can't really say much. No, it's not one of the things I liked about the changes. And last comment here, guys. Todd Mallet says, you can get Star Trek themed beer at Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati. I've got some Vulcan ale in my fridge. Yeah, I've seen the Vulcan ale floating around. There's also a Klingon some kind of alcohol. So anyways, there you have it, guys. You guys never really seen my iPad. That's my background there. So that's it. I plan on getting those comm badges done soon, and for everyone that wanted one, please stay tuned. There will be opportunities to get those in the future, either through Indiegogo campaign or through some kind of Trekyards store type thing. We've been saying that for a long time now. It is still an ongoing thing. We've got a lot of red tape and stuff we got to go through, and procedures we got to do, and hoops we got to jump through, and a lot of things like that. So please just be patient with that. Just keep watching the show and enjoying what we put out, and yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's basically it for my captain's log today. I can't think of anything else I really wanted to talk to you guys about or touch on. On a personal note, 2 days ago, we took my oldest dog, Sally, who's 11. She's a puggle. We took her to the vet because she had some lumps here under her armpits and at the back. Turns out it's lymphoma, cancer, and she has only got a few weeks to a few months to live, unfortunately. She has some pills and medications that slow the process down, but that's kind of thrown me off the last couple days. So that's kind of in my thoughts right now, and yeah, it's sad. She's a great dog, and I'm going to miss her to pieces, but we have some time with her until she's uncomfortable, which she's really not right now. We'll have her around, so I don't know, that could be any time in the next couple months, which really is irritating to have to watch her and make sure that she's fine and not deteriorating and whatnot. So that's just a personal thing that I thought I'd throw in here for you guys. because I know the captain's log should be about stuff that's going on personally in my life as well. Although those I usually reserve for the live chats on Facebook. I either do them just on my own account or sometimes through the Trekyards page. The Trekyards page would be more Trekyards or Star Trek related. I haven't done one in a while, and I apologize. It's kind of like an interactive, well, not kind of like a real-time interaction, captain's log style thing. So if you haven't seen one before, just stay tuned to the Trekyards page. I usually announce when I'll do them for Trekyards. Usually it's just when the mood strikes me and I've got some free time, I'll pop on and answer some questions. I talk about all the stuff I like: Sherlock Holmes, Star Trek, Transformers, 80s cartoons, things that really grind my gears, things that just annoy me. It's just a great therapeutic thing for me to get out there and talk to people and just get my views out there and read your questions and comments, because it's kind of live. It's kind of like a 30-second to a minute delay sometimes for the comments, which kind of sucks a lot of times when people are trying to comment on something I said earlier. But it is fun and it is interactive, and I do really enjoy that kind of stuff with you guys. That's why I enjoy doing these captain's logs so much, because I get to address you guys directly, all your questions, concerns, complaints, although some of the complaints are just too silly and I just don't even bother with them, because it's just not worth my time to address those kind of people, those negative people. So yeah, there's a lot of that kind of negativity that goes on the internet. It's kind of like it's a tool designed almost by bullies, so that bullies could actually have more of a, say. You're gonna get the internet trolls that have their thing that they got to say, and they got to be mean, and they can do it in the privacy of their own home while they're sitting there naked, doing whatever they're doing, and they don't have to confront the person. They can just get reactions out of people. So anyway, going on a rant here. This is kind of what the captain's the live Facebook things are like. This is a preview, guys. Preview of a live Facebook live thing with me. Anyway, that's it, I think. Once more Discovery news comes out, I'm sure me and Samuel will be talking about it in either my captain's logs, or we'll have a podcast about it. We got a lot of great guests and things that we've filmed now as additions to the Trekyards family. Stay tuned for those. Lots of great announcements and great episodes coming out. Some fantastic information-filled episodes, and some newer kind of style format kind of shows as well. So hopefully you guys are enjoying all the content we've been putting out, and looking forward to stuff that we'll be doing in the future. Until next time, everybody, I'm Captain Foley from Trekyards, and I would like to say, live long and prosper, and yeah, talk to you later. Captain Foley signing off. Bye-bye.